All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into The Ninth Gate, Roman Polanski's film. And we're going beyond, the typical thumbs up or thumbs down.
Oh, yeah?
Our listeners want to, really get into it. What impressed people, what puzzled them, maybe even what bugged them about the film.
Interesting.
So they sent over a whole stack of IMDb reviews. Quite a lot, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're going to crack those open and see what secrets, what mysteries we uncover about the film.
Sounds fun. One thing that pops up right away in these reviews is how much people talk about the film's ambiguity. Like, Polanski just went and made a puzzle box, and it's on us, the audience, to figure it out.
Yeah, right from the start, you get that feeling. Like one reviewer, B.A. Harrison, even mentioned that even after watching it a few times, they still don't get everything. But that's part of the reason they keep coming back.
I can see that.
It's a film that definitely rewards a curious mind.
It really does. And this whole idea of the ninth gate being a puzzle, both in the story itself and in how we watch it, seems to be a big thing in a lot of these reviews.
Right, yeah. Okay, so let's get into this puzzle idea a little bit more.
Okay.
A ton of reviewers pointed out all the symbolism in the film, like all the hidden meanings.
Oh, for sure.
It's like we need a decoder ring or something to even watch this thing.
I love that analogy. One reviewer, Dabaraz, even noticed that the movie's average rating at the time was, get this, 6.6.
No way.
Yeah, and they thought that might be like a little wink to the number of the beast.
No, wow.
Intentional or not, it definitely adds to that whole mysterious vibe and, the sense that there are darker forces at play.
That's a detail I totally missed. See, this is why we do these deep dives.
Absolutely.
Speaking of details, though, I gotta ask. Did anyone else kind of get hung up on how the characters handle those old books? I mean, come on. I treat my paperbacks better than that.
You're telling me. Bay Harrison makes a joke about that, too. They're like, I handle my used books with more care than Corso handles these priceless volumes.
Exactly. And another reviewer, Bob Farah, even compared it to Pawn Stars, saying those guys show more respect for old books.
That's hilarious.
But part of me wonders if that was intentional, though. Maybe it's a way to, emphasize how cynical Corso is at the beginning and then how he changes later on, becoming almost reverent.
That's an interesting thought. Could be Polanski's way of subtly showing Corso's change throughout the film.
Yeah, maybe. Now, even if some people were distracted by, the book handling thing,
Right.
nobody can deny how visually stunning The Ninth Gate is.
For sure.
Reviewers constantly talk about the atmosphere using words like opulent, European chic, and truly atmospheric.
Yeah, it's like Polanski just drops us right into this shadowy world of ancient secrets and forbidden knowledge,
Yeah.
The way it's shot, the locations, the music, it all works together to create this feeling that's beautiful and unsettling at the same time.
Speaking of beauty and unsettling things, we got to talk about Johnny Depp as Dean Corso.
Oh, yeah.
So many reviewers just loved his performance, calling it great, saying he's great as always.
What's cool about Depp's performance is how he manages to show Corso's cynicism, but also hints that there's something more vulnerable underneath. Like, he's got his own hidden world, which makes his journey into the occult even more, captivating.
It's like he's a mirror of the film itself, layered, complex, and never fully revealing everything. And speaking of the guy pulling the strings behind the scenes, we can't forget Roman Polanski himself.
True.
Several reviewers noticed that Polanski's personality seems to come through in the film, especially in Corso.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Polanski, kind of like Corso, is someone who's often done things his own way. He's not afraid to dive into darkness or explore those taboo subjects.
Do you think that's why The Ninth Gate resonates so much with people? Because it taps into those, primal fears and desires, that fascination with the unknown?
I think it definitely plays a part. But there's also something about how the film explores obsession and the pursuit of knowledge, no matter the cost, that really gets to people.
That's true. Corso's whole journey could be seen as a metaphor for that human need to unlock the secrets of the universe, even if it means sacrificing everything.
Absolutely.
Speaking of journeys, what did you think about the ending? Because, wow, it seems like that's the most debated part of the whole film.
The ending. That's where Polanski really lets his puzzle master side shine through, wouldn't you say?
Totally. Some reviewers were not happy about it. Guitarded 1776 straight up called it a shitty ending with no resolution. And then there's Vip Dani, who found it incoherent.
Right. But on the flip side, you've got reviewers like Minjax, who found a deeper meaning in the ending, suggesting it's more about symbolic representations than literal answers. And then there's Tardis Phone Home, who we'll get to later. They see the ending as a crucial clue in the overall riddle of the film.
It's like Polanski's throwing down a challenge, saying, okay, you've been paying attention, you followed the clues, now what do you make of it?
Exactly. And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting. It's not just about summarizing what everyone else thinks. It's about inviting you, the listener, to join the debate, analyze the clues, and come to your own conclusions.
So let's take a closer look at what TARDIS Phone Home has to say, because they offer a really unique perspective on the ninth gate, one that might just change how you see the whole movie.
So, before we got deeper into some of these more fascinating reviews, we were talking about how that ending kind of left people scratching their heads. Some were even a little frustrated, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like Polanski wanted to stir things up a bit,
Yeah.
Get people debating and coming up with their own ideas. Left us with more questions than answers, for sure.
And that's what makes this review from TARDIS Phone Home so interesting. They actually argue that the whole film, much like that book at the heart of it, is a riddle just waiting to be solved.
Oh, okay. So it's not just watching a movie, but like playing some kind of elaborate game alongside Corso, trying to find those clues and hidden meanings.
Exactly. TARDIS Phone Home really encourages us to pay attention, to those tiny details. Things that seem small could actually have a much bigger meaning.
Okay, so like what kind of details are we talking about?
Well, they specifically mentioned a few things: the color of the girl's socks, the fact that Corso always has a shoulder bag and overcoat, and that
Mm-hmm.
recurring thing with broken glasses and the mark between the eyes.
Interesting. On the surface, I guess those details might seem kind of random, but like if you look closer, maybe there are some connections to bigger ideas in the film.
Right. For example, the girl's socks. Maybe they represent that whole idea of duality, that mix of innocence and darkness that we see throughout the film.
Right. And Corso's shoulder bag and overcoat, always there. Maybe they symbolize the burdens of knowledge, or even the weight of his past.
Yeah, I like that. And those broken glasses and the mark between the eyes, it
Yeah.
pops up on several characters. Maybe it has something to do with how our perceptions can be flawed, or the dangers of chasing after forbidden knowledge.
It's like Polanski's using these little visual cues to point us towards a deeper understanding of the characters and why they do what they do.
Exactly. And this brings us back to that ending. TARDIS Phone Home pointed out that Corso's suddenly without his shoulder bag and overcoat in that final scene.
Huh, really? Could that mean he's shedding his old self? Like a transformation from that whole
Yes,
journey?
it's possible, right? It's like he's leaving the material world behind and entering into like a realm of pure spirit.
That's a cool way to look at it. Really reinforces the idea that the Ninth Gate is more than just a thriller. It's about spiritual awakening and the consequences of searching for enlightenment.
Absolutely. TARDIS Phone Home even went so far as to say, search the internet for the answers to the questions you have. They see the film as this interactive experience, encouraging viewers to become active participants in figuring out all the mysteries.
Wow. So instead of seeing the ambiguity as a bad thing, we can think of it as a way to engage with the material on a deeper level.
Precisely.
It's like Polanski is saying, hey, I'm not going to spoon feed you all the answers, but I'll give you the tools to find them.
Exactly. And that's what I love about these deep dives. It's not about passively watching something. It's about actively exploring and interpreting it.
So listener, what are you thinking? Does the Ninth Gate feel more like a puzzle now?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe an allegory for the pursuit of knowledge and all the potential pitfalls that come with it?
However you see it, you can't deny how powerful Polanski's filmmaking is. He blends suspense, symbolism, and psychological depth to create an experience that really sticks with you.
And speaking of Polanski's skill, a lot of reviewers pointed out how exceptional the cinematography and score are, praising how they contribute to the overall feel of the film.
Oh, absolutely. They create this feeling of unease, like something bad is going to happen, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. I remember one reviewer specifically mentioning the great, cold, and suspenseful cinematography, while another talked about the suspenseful musical score by Wojciech Kilar.
Yeah, it's like the visuals and the music are characters themselves, whispering secrets and building that tension.
And while some people might find the film's pacing a bit slow, I think it's that deliberate pace that allows us to really take in the atmosphere and all the little details.
You're right. It's not about jump scares or fast-paced action, but about pulling you into this world of shadows and intrigue.
And then within that world, you have Johnny Depp's performance, which is just brilliant. He captures Corso's complexities in such a subtle way, Makes you wonder if he's a hero, a villain, or something else entirely.
Speaking of heroes and villains, one of the most interesting things about the film is that connection between Corso and Polanski himself. They both seem drawn to the darker aspects of human nature. Like they enjoy exploring what's forbidden and pushing those boundaries.
Yeah, it's like Corso is a stand-in for Polanski, navigating this world of hidden truths and facing the consequences of his curiosity.
It adds a whole other layer to the film. Makes you wonder how much of Polanski's own life experiences and his worldview are woven into the story.
And that's a question without an easy answer, right? But it definitely makes us look beyond the surface and consider the role of the filmmaker in shaping the narrative.
It's that interplay between the director, the character, and the story that elevates The Ninth Gate from a simple thriller to a more thought-provoking exploration of obsession, knowledge, and the power of belief.
And while we've touched on some of the bigger themes and interpretations, it's important to remember that everyone brings their own perspective to the film. So let's look at some of the different reactions from the reviews you shared, highlighting what people agreed on and where they differed.
So welcome back to our deep dive on The Ninth Gate. You know, we've been talking about how this film works on so many levels. It's a suspenseful thriller, it's a puzzle box full of symbols, it even reflects Polanski himself in a way. But at the end of the day, it's all about your experience as a viewer, right?
Right.
So let's dive into some of those individual reactions and opinions from the IMDb reviews you sent over. See if anything really jumps out at you.
Sounds good. One thing that kept popping up in these reviews is how much people loved the atmosphere of the film. They were really drawn in by the visual style and the mood Polanski created.
Yeah, it's like you're stepping into this world that's both, like, seductive and dangerous at the same time, you know?
For sure. Reviewers used words like opulent, European chic, even demonic beauty to describe it.
And it's not just the visuals. People also really praise the cinematography and the score for how they add to that, like, unsettling but beautiful feeling.
Absolutely. In fact, one reviewer, Suck the Movie Man 1, actually argued that the lack of action is a good thing. They said it's refreshing to see a horror occult movie that has very little action.
Interesting. So they're saying that real suspense doesn't always have to rely on physical threats, but more on that psychological tension, that slow burn of dread.
Exactly. Like, think about that scene where Corso first meets the girl.
Oh, yeah.
No dialogue, no violence, just a look and a gust of wind, but it's so eerie, it really sticks with you.
It does. And those subtle moments of tension are made even stronger by Wojciech Killer's score. A bunch of reviewers called it suspenseful and even haunting.
It's like the music is another character in the film, leading our emotions and making that feeling of unease even stronger.
For sure. Now, while a lot of people loved the atmosphere and the pacing, some viewers did find it a bit slow, or even, boring. One reviewer, Dance View, simply said it was interesting and slow, which kind of sums it up.
Yeah, that's fair. It's definitely not a movie for everyone, especially those who like fast-paced action or clear-cut answers. It requires some patience and a willingness to embrace the unknown.
And then you have reviewers like Vip Danier, who found the film incoherent, especially the ending, because it didn't really tie everything up neatly.
I get that. Not everyone enjoys a film that leaves so much open to interpretation.
But even in those negative reviews, there's a recognition of Polanski's talent as a director. They might not have loved the story or the pacing, but they still acknowledge the technical brilliance of the film.
Exactly. For instance, one reviewer, Wes Connors, criticized the ending but praised the cinematography and one of the supporting actors. It shows that even if a film doesn't fully click with you, it can still have moments of greatness.
And at the end of the day, isn't that what makes a piece of art truly captivating? It sparks debate, makes you think, and stays with you long after it's over.
Absolutely.
Speaking of sparking conversations, reviewer B. Harrison had a great point. Even though they had unanswered questions about the film, they ended their review by saying, "I still have a fun time trying to further unravel the riddle, spot as yet undiscovered clues and diabolical references, and work out the answers to questions posed by the plot."
That really captures what this deep dive is all about. It's about embracing the mystery, engaging with the symbols, and drawing your own conclusions.
So as we wrap up our exploration of The Ninth Gate, we encourage you, dear listener, to keep that journey of discovery going. Watch the film again, pay attention to those little details, and see what new insights you might find. Maybe you'll discover answers. Maybe you'll have even more questions, but it's a journey worth taking.
And don't forget, there's no one right way to interpret this film. It's all about engaging with the material, questioning your assumptions, and finding your own meaning in all the ambiguity. That's where the true magic of cinema lies.